Hello there, and welcome to the King Square Reviews Captain America Brave New World. As a comic book geek and movie geek, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been a blessing for going on 2 decades. While not all of the films have been overwhelming smash hits, there is a quality to all of the MCU films that make them enjoyable to one degree or another. Captain America Brave New World falls in the category of good but not great MCU films for a number of reasons that I'll be going over. The first part of this review will be spoiler free for those who haven't had a chance to watch the film yet. There aren't too many spoilers, but those will be discussed at the end of the video. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you're only getting the spoiler free portion. For the deeper discussion with spoilers and speculations, sign up with my Patreon, which is linked below. Also, if you're enjoying this video on YouTube, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button so you can get more content as it comes out. Up front, I want to say that I enjoyed Brave New World. Anthony Mackie has charisma for days, and he is absolutely able to carry this film from start to finish. The quiet scenes in between the big action sequences are where Mackie shines the most, particularly during his interactions with Danny Ramirez as Joaquin Torres, aka the new Falcon, and Carl Lumbly as Isaiah Bradley. There is a friendly banter between Danny and Anthony that showcases the easy chemistry the two actors share. In many ways, this feels similar to the easy friendship scene between Chris Evans as Steve Rogers and Anthony Mackie in the previous MCU films. There are moments in Brave New World where I can see Mackie's Sam Wilson showing Joaquin a similar mentor-mentee relationship that he shared with Steve. Carl Lumbly's interactions, though, are the emotional heft of the film, particularly if you've seen The Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+. There is a deep weariness and pain that Carl puts into Bradley's expressions. Here is someone who has been screwed over by the system repeatedly, and that kind of righteous anger never fully goes away, and Carl Lumbly makes sure to bring that to Isaiah Bradley every step of the way. I enjoyed the scenes of camaraderie between Lumbly, Ramirez, and Mackie early in the film. It looked like the three of them were having a blast filming their scenes together, and it really shows in the final product. But the scenes after Bradley's attempted assassination are hauntingly emotional. The vibrancy that Lumbly brought to the character in the beginning of the film are now gone completely, and instead there is this bone-deep weariness that he carries in his expression and his physicality that you can only surmise is just him accepting he's going to get screwed over again in the face of what seems like an insurmountable frame job. Moving on from there, though, you have Harrison Ford as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, and he is solid as a replacement for the late William Hurt, who passed away in 2022. Ford imbues Ross with a pathos that Hurt occasionally lets slip beneath the facade of the stern military leader. It's clear that this version of Thaddeus Ross knows that he is near the end of his life, but he's not fully capable of letting go of his need to control everything around him until it gets to the very end of the film. I personally would love to see some of the behind-the-scenes footage of Ford doing his mocap work for Red Hulk, since it is as good as the work done by Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. Mackie and Ford also work well off of each other. They find these little emotional beats in their performances together that connect Ross and Wilson in ways that I don't think either character really thinks exist or should exist, but they are able to find them. Lastly, the return of Tim Blake Nelson as Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, were leaked well before the advance of the film, so that's not a spoiler. Nelson's take is similar in some ways to how they portrayed Helmut Zemo in Captain America Civil War. That of a person with a very sharp mind playing all of the potential angles. Rather than matching brawn with Sam Wilson, Stearns uses his intellect to play everyone around him, leading to a large-scale conflict that is much more than it actually appears. Giancarlo Esposito is also a treat as Seth Volker, aka Sidewinder, the leader of the Serpent Society. Esposito is one of those actors that it's always fun to watch him work, and he actually brings a physicality to this role that I don't think he's done in any of his roles in quite a long time. With all of that praise, though, I do have some issues with the pacing of the film. It's very clear there are some issues with how the film is structured that I think can be attributed to the rewrites and reshoots. That's just speculation on my part. I can't say for certain one way or the other. An example would be Sidewinder's inclusion in the film. As much fun as it is to watch Giancarlo Esposito work, I felt that Sidewinder was tacked on in order to give Wilson a physical threat that he could confront. That was part of this overall conspiracy. But Sidewinder's not used extensively enough to really kind of fill that gap. And this is where my other criticism of the film comes from, which is Brave New World feels like it's attempting to capture some of the same story beats and moments as Captain America: The Winter Soldier. So, in a juxtaposition, in Winter Soldier, you had Robert Redford as the cerebral bad guy behind the scenes, with Sebastian Stan's Winter Soldier as the persistent, seemingly unstoppable threat. Stearns and Sidewinder try to hit some of those same beats, but it doesn't hit the same way. It feels very flat at times. Overall, the sum of the parts involved in the film make for a very enjoyable MCU experience. I look forward to seeing more of Anthony Mackie's Sam Wilson as Captain America. With no super soldier serum, I think Mackie's Captain America is a symbol of hope in the ideal that one person can make a difference in the world. Now for the spoiler portion of this